Everyone. My name is Dave. I'm with the Miami Brahma Kumaris Raja Yoga Center, and welcome again to our weekly conversation. Last week we talked about think right, and today we are continuing along that line. Think right, reshaping your comfort zone. And I'd like you to welcome Vijai, my conversationalist. And I hope you guys had a really happy and enjoyable July 4th. I saw that on the highway, the Department of Transport put up several signs saying, "Give your phone independence, put it down." So you have the freedom here to think right. So as we go in our journey of life, as we find joy in our journey, let's think right. So Vijay, what do you like to share with us today?
Well, I like that idea of giving your phone independence. Don't don't let your phone enslave you. But in thinking right, one of our friends, Radhika, was telling me that there was a concern about the past. But thinking right does not have to do with the past. Whatever has happened, has happened. Thinking right has to do with the future. We have to look about now and ahead. Even so, not the past at all, but even the future, not too much. Thinking right really has to do with now.
Thinking right has to do with now. Because whatever is your thoughts are energy. And wherever energy goes, stuff grows. So it's so important that you should think right. So why we are talking about reshaping your comfort zone is we find that a lot of us are doing the same thing over and over and over again, and we expect a different result. For example, say, you always reach to work late and you complain that, oh my goodness, I have to do all of these things in order to leave the house and reach to work, and that's what's held in, and that's how I get held back. But if you do some change, wake up a little bit earlier. But no, a lot of time we are caught up in that spin of doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Vijay, you find that's a common thing in the world?
No, it's not a common thing. Nobody going to work these days.
Oh.
Nobody reaching to work late. You probably have to reach in front of your Zoom on time. That's about it. So that problem is probably solved. But I think
okay, wrong example.
I think that in this, because it was Independence here, and I've seen the word freedom is the land of the free. And I believe that one of the areas of the comfort zone has to do with too much freedom. So when we think, we should be free in our thoughts, but we should not be too free. Too much thinking, I feel, is the problem. We need to have some control over our thoughts. Do not be too free with your thoughts. Do not think whatever comes to mind. Do not let your thoughts take you wherever the thoughts want to go. You have to think where I want to carry my thoughts. And I think that's one place that we could change the comfort zone, though being comfortable with thinking whatever we want, whenever we want, for how long we want. We should change that and bring some control over the thoughts. So while this is the land of freedom, and it's the land of the free, and we are free and you are free, don't let the thoughts be too free.
So you're saying we have the freedom to think right. Yeah.
Yes,
That's what you're saying?
we have the freedom to control our thoughts.
We have the freedom to think right.
Okay.
I like that one.
All
We
right,
have the
okay.
freedom to think right.
Yes.
So as we find joy in our journey, and we have the freedom to think right, let us examine. Last week we talked about the first thing you do when you wake up is to spend some time with yourself. Don't think about anything external, but just spend some quality time with yourself. So after spending that quality time with yourself, what do we do, Vijay?
Well, I think we should not think too much.
Oh, you came back with thinking too much. I'm saying think right.
No, think less.
Oh, you got to think less in order
Yes.
to think right.
Right, because the less thoughts you have, it's easier to control them if we have a lot of thoughts to get away from us. Also, when we think less, we conserve the energy of the mind, and we are not as tired. And when we are less tired, we have more self-control. So thinking less brings control. Thinking less makes it easier for us to choose the right thoughts. So thinking less is the way to think right.
So when I think less, and I have the freedom to think less, let's say, it comes up to your quality of thoughts then. So you're removing all the thoughts which might be wasteful, thoughts which might be useless, thoughts which might be revengeful. You know, somebody did something bad to you in the office, and you're thinking how to get revenge.
But you don't go in the office, no one goes in. You go to the office once a day, once a week, I think.
Yeah, well, I actually haven't gone to the office in several weeks because,
Okay, so.
as most of you, and let me take this opportunity to remind people what's happening in the world, especially here in South Florida. Yeah, on Sunday, I believe the rate of new cases of COVID-19 was like 11,000. But please, have the freedom to protect yourself. Do the right thing. Protect yourself and protect others. Wear your mask. I've been seeing a lot of information on the social media about, people not following this. And you can see the consequence of it. They are not thinking right. So please, follow the CDC recommendation, wear your mask, sterilize your hands as much as you can. So, back to our thinking right. Think right.
So thinking right means to think less. So an example, if we want to use the mask example, is that when we think less, we are better able to manage how we want to implement these new rules and new regulations. So while we are used to going out on mask, now we have to be masked. So when thinking right means the ability to make a plan, to put things in place, to get the mask. You may not have one, to get the right mask, one that fits comfortably. When we slow down our thinking and we focus on what needs to be done, and we focus on the present, we don't get too caught up in those people who are saying whatever else they are saying. You make your decision, what is good for you. Once you have made your decision, do not overthink it. Do not go in too much depth. You have made a decision, stick to your decision. Get the correct information you feel for you and make your decision and stick to the decision. Don't get involved in who said and who did not say and how it will affect other people. So thinking right is the ability to think less. Make the correct choices. Having made the choice, to be able to make now the plans to put your choice into practice, to implement it. And at the end of the day, you will feel content and happy. If we allow our mind too much freedom and we go thinking about what this one say and what that one
It's a country of freedom.
Yes, but not for your mind.
No, I thought we were free, had freedom to think right.
Yes, you have freedom to think right, but don't let your thoughts have too much freedom. Freedom is good, but not too much freedom.
You mean it will get out of hand?
Yes, definitely. There is free to be good and free to be bad. Yes, so it is freedom to be good,
Okay.
not freedom to be bad.
Because we are right, think right and you will be right.
Well, it is freedom to do right by yourself. It is not to do wrong by other people. That is the freedom.
Vijay, one of our conversation was SOS, and SOS means stop, observe, and stare.
Yes, that is
And
it.
now it's the time to stop. Put some stops during the day. So we talk about waking up, put in some time to think and have internal thoughts and gratitude. But during the day, put some stops, maybe, a couple times a day, and observe. Observe what your mind has been doing for the last few hours, or the last hour, where it has been going beside work. How much energy is being used in useless things, wasteful things? How much energy is being used in items like compassion, love, caring, kindness? Because these are our eternal, original qualities. And these waste thoughts, why I'm talking so much about waste thoughts is because a lot of time we are influenced by a lot of negative things. We listen to negative conversation, we listen to a lot of negativity thing in the news, and they form opinions and they influence our mind, they influence our thinking, they create heaviness, they create a lot of negative things. So I'm saying stop, observe. Observe where your mind has been going and steer it in a direction which would bring you benefit, which would bring you reward, which would bring you peace, which would bring you calm, which would bring you quietness, which would bring you happiness and add joy to your journey. Do you agree, Vijay?
Yep, I think that's excellent to bring joy to the journey. I like the idea of stopping and steering. So we want to steer the thoughts towards the positive side of yourself first, and then the positive of other people. Sometimes we get a little depressed, and sometimes we see other people doing wrong things. But we cannot help people improve by pointing out their weaknesses. Though we can't expect the child to do better. If we say, I told you not to do that, you are always doing this, then you just reminding the child what he is doing. But for him to do better, you have to say, yes, no, you really could do that. I remember a time when you did such a lovely job, or so and so. So by looking at the positive side of things, we give people strength and we give them courage. So think right first by yourself. Remind yourself of your own strengths and do not have too much negative self-talk. Give that up, negative self-talk. Negative self-talk. And also practice positive viewing, positive appreciation for other people, even when they make mistakes. This is going out of our comfort zone. This is changing the way we think so that we could think right instead of thinking how we like.
So I like that idea about self-talk, positive self-talk rather than negative self-talk. So an example of positive self-talk, what do you think? Give me an example of positive self-talk.
Appreciate your past successes, appreciate the things that you have, appreciate what is good around you, the plants, the sun, your health, your family members. You are able to, just think about your past successes. You are alive, you have brought up your family, you have a job, you've been able to maintain a certain lifestyle, etc., etc. There's lots of things. It requires practice. If we have a lot of negative self-talk, then it requires practice, retraining of our own mind towards positive self-talk. We can also take help from other people. You can take help from your good friends to ask them, shift the conversation to positive things. And if you start to compliment your friend, they will in turn start complimenting you. And thereby you will discover some of the positive things about yourself.
So in reshaping your comfort zone by positive self-talk, it's a change. And what we are saying here is the comfort zone. The reason why people are experiencing the same thing over and over again is because they are not changing. They are doing the same thing. So what I'm saying, what we are saying, is that to affect some change, step out of your comfort zone. And the way to do that is to stop, observe, and stay. And that's in that way you are reshaping a new zone. A zone where you can think right. A zone where there's benefit for you. A zone where you can feel happy. A zone where you can feel appreciated. A zone where you can see and be in gratitude. And that's something which can be done. Rezoning, reshaping.
You must be in construction, right, with all this rezoning.
Oh, well.
Building or something.
Yeah,
it sounds like a building code.
Project management has a lot of that. Yes, indeed. So, let's become experiential here now, Vijay, and lead us into some rezoning.
Okay.
I'll put on some little music here.
All right. So while Brother Dave is getting the music, sit comfortably in your chair or space. Let the body relax. Take a deep breath. And feel that the energy of the body settles and relaxes. And bring your thoughts to the center of the forehead. And ask yourself, who am I? And I think of myself as a soul, a spiritual, divine being, sitting here in the center of the forehead. I allow the thoughts to relax. And I feel my own peace, my silence. I, the soul, am a divine being playing my part in this physical world. For a few moments, I leave all things physical behind, and I let my thoughts fly away to a world beyond the physical. I take my mind to a world of light. And I feel the presence of God. I, the soul, in the company of the Father. I feel the blessings of God is with me. I feel my own pure nature. And I hold this space. I, the soul, in divine company. I stay relaxed. And I return my thoughts to this physical world. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you for that wonderful reshaping. And as we find joy in our journey, let us think right. Thank you. Have a good night.